There she is. Angela Hood. How
Hi.
are you?
Hi, Angela.
And you're dialing from where? Where are you?
Austin, Texas.
Another Texas. Yeehaw.
Barbecue, all of that. Yeah,
Can I get a quick shout out there?
absolutely.
All right. Well, Angela, appreciate you joining us. She's from This Way Global. Go ahead, just start up by describing your product and how it helps with diversity recruiting.
Sure. So we have a product suite called AI for Jobs. And part of the reason why we labeled it exactly that way is we wanted to be able to have the conversation around artificial intelligence and how it should and should not be used. And so we just said, let's just be very honest about how we're doing things. What it does very specifically is it matches people to jobs without bias. And we make sure that we have an extraordinarily high quality diversity database because we have 3,000 partners, and that's where we're getting our individuals from. That is primarily in the US. And then we sit inside applicant tracking systems and CRMs. And we've always sat inside and just been native. And we have just launched you're actually going to see it for the first time today, a product that is standalone, and the purpose of it is for companies to be able to test it and prove that our matching works on their jobs with their candidates. I think the diversity part is so incredibly important to me because I'm a female engineer that I also have a Native American background, and when those two things get surfaced, it made it very hard for me to find a job or even get an interview. And even in a competitive landscape where they were, quote, looking for women. And what I found was that if we could remove the bias and keep the unconscious bias from happening in the matching process, then women, people of color, LGBTQ, all of this gets surfaced. And we all can compete on our own. Like, we have the capabilities, we just need to be able to be seen. And so it's a passion of mine that I'm really happy to be able to share today. So I thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome.
You touched on it a little about your AI, but can you go a little bit more into explaining explaining your AI in simple terms, like how it does the match, like how it actually does the matching?
Of course. So it does two things at the very beginning. So we look at the application or the job description. And the job description, and we're stripping out the biases. So I want to give a very specific example. What happens in tech is a lot of times we don't realize that words like the word waitress are a female word. You know, it says, okay, well, a waiter and a waitress, male and female. Over time, machine learning systems start to learn that waitress is a woman. So it starts to say, oh, this is a woman's resume. And companies X and Y might not hire women as often as men. So in a ranking system, you would start ranking them higher, the men higher than the women. And we saw that in our own system. So I started building this at Cambridge in England. I led an R&D team of 150 engineers, and we started identifying this bias in 2012, and it took us many years to figure out how to get around it. And we essentially had to teach the system that waiters and waitresses are both servers. Servers are men and women are equal. And we had to do that with many different phrases, about 150,000 common phrases that come up in resumes. It was a very significant task on our part, but because we were so committed, we're like, we are going to do this. And some of the other biases that we see are not just around ethnicity. Some of it's information bias is the way we phrase it. A lot of times when a job description comes down and it will say it's for a JavaScript developer, and then applicants come in and some will say that they're Java developers and others will say that they're React Node.js developers. Not every recruiter knows the nuances of which one of those should be going forward to the hiring manager. And they're not trying to keep people out. They literally don't know the information. And so that's why we call it information bias. And so one of the things our system tackled was to say, let's help the recruiters have information work for them in the background. And that is one of the things our AI does. So it looks and says, all right, this is a JavaScript job. React and Node.js are both JavaScript frameworks. They should be qualified for this job. So let's move them forward and help the recruiter in that way. Let's not move the Java developers because they're back end, they're not qualified. But because of keywords and what keywords can do crazy in an applicant tracking system, it causes problems. So we take it beyond just diversity. But our primary focus and objective in the technology is to make sure that we're surfacing qualified candidates that are also diverse so we can level the playing field in the hiring market.
Awesome. Well, give us a quick peek, Angela.
All right, awesome.
Share your screen. Got about 6 minutes or so, I'd say.
Okay. I'm hoping this is working right. All right, do you see an AI for job screen?
Not yet.
Not yet, no. So mouse over your picture. You'll see a share screen icon first.
Yeah.
Then you got to click. I think you have to click another click to make it appear. Nope.
Nope.
Um,
It's not enabling the share.
Not enabling the share.
Oh, wait, there. Oh, I think it just went. Now you should see it.
Let's see. Nope. Why don't you stop it and then like start it again, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to do a tab share and see if that works.
Okay.
That work?
Here we go. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is the standalone instance. I want to reiterate, we live natively inside Salesforce and inside applicant tracking systems and other candidate relationship managers. So if you were to go and you were to look at an executive assistant position, it's showing that you have 20 active applicants. Obviously, this number now could be much higher. These are real jobs from customers that allowed us to show this. And we're going to just say, let's view results. It right now is reading the resumes of people that are not just a passive applicant like you might have found through one of the other vendors that you saw today, but it's also looking at your active applicants that you have currently for that job. It's looking at the active applicants that you have for other jobs that came in at the same time, and you can also have it look at previous applicants that maybe you have overlooked, or maybe during when we were March, April, May, June timeframe when things were a bit crazy. Maybe really qualified people applied, but you didn't see them at that time. So you can see them now. So direct applicants are everyone that actively applied for this specific job. Indirect applicants are the people that have come from another job. They came previously, or they came from one of the passive candidate databases that we've just heard about. We don't show you the applicant name. We do identify them through an ID number so we can keep track of them and they can show up in your applicant tracking system when the time is right. So we are going to go over here. We're going to look at view profile, and you'll notice that we're not showing you the information for the name. We're showing you that they went to the school, that here's their degree, and here's the skill sets that have been used to match to the job. Here's the most recent history. We're actually looking at their entire job history that they've provided to us, that we're not just looking at these two. If you have selected them to be able to have an interview, then we can download the resume and actually see this person. So I'm going to do that. And I can upload them into my applicant tracking system or into Salesforce. And this button right now is obviously turned to redaction. So this button we don't enable for the recruiters to use themselves. So this is a setting that's at the admin level, which is where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And it would allow you to see the individuals at that point. You would be able to see more information about them, their names, emails, phone numbers, data like this. The other thing that's really important is a lot of people that are at entry-level positions or are kind of at a disadvantage right now in the market, they don't have regular access to internet. And so we make sure that everything works mobile for them on their side. And they're able to do a simple application on a mobile device that we have Android and Apple. The simple application can then be enriched by us, and we can add more data to that and help you see a fuller picture of them. That is one of the ways that we've learned that we're enabling people that are socioeconomically disadvantaged to actually get into work faster. And I would say that we're seeing incredible impact. We work with large companies, so enterprise, and also very innovative companies. And one of the ways we wanted to make it easier for everyone to see if it works for them and find value is I shared a link inside the chat, and you can reach out to that, and we will let you use the product for free on your jobs and on your candidates and be able to validate that it's going to work for you.
Awesome. All right. One more minute, Angela. Feel free to.
So I would think that if we need to answer any questions, we could do that.
Okay, awesome. Audience, you have any questions here? Angela, I have a question on the score there.
Yeah.
Is that scoring in terms of how diverse a candidate they are, or how close to a match they are to the position?
So that's their qualifications against the job description.
Okay.
So that's what we're measuring. So the way we developed a diverse database of individuals to do our initial learning was we have these 3,000 partners. And then what we learned over time is those people would ask us, can you match us to jobs? So over time, they became, individuals that wanted us to place them with work. We do not do the recruiter's job. We only do the matching and the initial sourcing at the very top of the funnel. We don't go beyond that point.
Gotcha. Awesome.
No questions.
Kirsten, anything else for you?
Yep. Thank you so much for that. And I don't see any additional questions in the chat either.
All right, thank you.
Well, Angela, great. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate the quick demo.
I appreciate it.
Definitely stay in touch with us.
Thank you.